Okay, so this is a video aimed at school techs, showing them how to use the dashboard facility within the Hivemanager system for managing AeroHive wireless access points. So when you first log into Hivemanager, you're actually going to be presented initially with the dashboard screen. And just to recap, this device groups selection window over on the left is where you're going to find the your school, and you're going to select your school in order to review information about your school. Something that's slightly annoying is that it seems to auto expand everything so that you have to kind of unexpand it in order to find your school. So let's take the example of Hope Centennial Elementary School. So it's under elementary schools, D2H. We have so many elementary schools, I had to organize them like that. And so we got Hope Centennial. Now, we're already viewing it, so you can see this is highlighted. So we're already viewing Hope Centennial. And you can see that we have a choice of looking at the last hour, 24 hours, 7 days, or custom. To be honest, most of our activity seems to either be in a window in the morning or in a window in the afternoon. So sometimes to really understand in detail what's going, you have to zoom in on those windows. But let's just, for the fun of it, somewhat fun of it, let's look at how these graphs change over the standard period. So this is the last hour from 10:30 to 11:30. If we look at 24 hours, that kind of gives you an idea of how usage ramps up across the day and then goes down again. 7 days, I guess you can, if you were interested, you could determine how usage patterns vary across the days of the week. So we can see that school was out until Monday, so we obviously don't have very good historical data, but this first graph is just our client count, so we can see that we had more clients yesterday. Something you can tell about Hope Centennial is that they primarily have Latitude 3150 Windows laptops, which are dual band and are set to prefer to operate on the 5 gigahertz band. They have a few of the old Latitude E5430s, which operate on the 2.4. But you can see these are high client counts. So we have 195 5 gigahertz and 123 2.4 here. Here it's claiming they had 269 of those and 143. I'm a bit dubious about that, to be honest, because I don't think they have that many laptops there. That's a lot of laptops. Sometimes what can be more interesting is, rather than just an hour, is to pick a window of the last few hours. So we can go to custom, and it's showing a date of yesterday. So we're actually going to set it to the 12th, which is today. And it's an elementary school. So let's set 7 a.m. as the beginning window and 12 a.m., which has just come up. We're at 11:44 a.m. That would be okay as the end of the time window. It should be 12 p.m. of course. 12 p.m. So this is giving us a notion of the ramp up, and it seems like this period around 10 a.m. was our peak, where we had 80 2.4 gigahertz clients, 132. And that's why I was very dubious. I don't know how it came up with those very high numbers for the whole day. This sounds more realistic, or looks more realistic. So if we want to review these particular graphs now for this time window. So this first graph is basically our unique Wi-Fi clients over time. And we can simply see that, we saw some limited amount of activity early in the morning. Obviously, more laptops, carts were getting put out across the morning, peaking at around 10. Okay. Then the next graph to the right talks about Wi-Fi client usage, and that's in terms of data passed over the link. And it is broken out by our top, well, how many is it? Looks like our top 10 access points. So we can see that the access point 10C9CO looks to be, a heavy user. The data which is being transmitted is split out into data transmitted over the 2.4 gigahertz band and over the 5 gigahertz. So we can see that 10C9CO looks to be one where there's a lot of transmission occurring in the 2.4, and we would guess that it's in a room where the 2.4 gigahertz laptops, the E5430s, are being used. Now, at this point, if you're doing some analysis, what you would do is you would actually open up a monitor tab. So we're actually going to go to the other tab, click monitor. We're going to look at AirHive access points only. And then we're going to go to Hope Centennial. So I'm actually going to hit the letter that's after H, G, which jumps me past, sorry, well, I don't know my alphabet. Apparently it's I. And Hope Centennial will be in the list. So here we have Hope Centennial organized by location. Go back to here. And so access point 10C9CO. We're going to have to find that one. So I'll do a control find 10C9C. It tells me that that's room 1319. Okay. And currently there are only 4 clients in there according to AeroHive, but that's the room where we were seeing, certainly at a certain point in time, a lot of activity on the 2.4 gigahertz. And if we look at the room 154B80, or the room with the access point 154B80, that was all 2.4 gigahertz. So 154B80, we'll find that one, control F, 154B8, and that was room 1-215. And again, right now, that's only got a single client in there. So this graph is giving us usages by access point, and that can be useful in terms of knowing where your hotspots are in terms of data usage. If we move to the bandwidth usage over time, then this is telling us about the rate of transfer of bandwidth. And we can see that it ramps up from 8 through 9 and kind of peaks off at about 9 megabits per second and stays around there. And that's fairly modest. There's no cause for concern if that's the overall rate of transmission over all the access points in the location, then it's not really much of a cause for concern. One that you will notice here, that transmission means what is sent from the access point towards the laptops, the clients. And you'll see that there's a lot more data sent that way than going the other way. So the TX usage is 8.32. The receive usage is 0.74. And the reason for that is that most of what's going the other way is what would be called acknowledgements. So you're requesting web pages. You send a tiny packet to request a web page. Then you're going to get all of your text and images and video and whatever that makes up a web page. So there's a very asymmetric characteristic to traffic in that most of it is coming from the access point to the client. Here we have this breakdown of, this is in real time, of how many clients are on the 5 gigahertz, which is NA, and how many are on the 2.4, which is NG. And so this isn't over time. This is, I assume, just right now. And what that actually tells me is that probably a lot of the clients are personal devices, or perhaps iPads, which are sitting in a cabinet but still connected. Because when we turn on a lot of laptops, that should increase. So you see over here, we have 80 clients shown there, but here we only have 31. So I'm not too sure about how useful this particular graph is. Now we have unique Wi-Fi clients by location. Now this would be broken out by buildings, but we only have one building here. So that's not really giving us that much information about client breakout across the location. Some information about the operating systems of clients. So most of them seem to be